Conference is now stronger, the East or the West? Tim, go.
I think it's the East, and I think it's clearly the East now. You know, for a long time, the Western Conference has been the superior one, but you look at the way this is shaking out right now, I think that the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets are the two best teams in the league by a fairly significant amount. I think you can argue that your Miami Heat, George, are as good or better than any of these top teams in the West. And I think when you look at the Eastern Conference from top to bottom, there are 12 teams that are legitimate playoff caliber teams. There's really only Orlando, Cleveland, and Detroit that you go into the season thinking these are not quality playoff level teams. So I think the East is deeper, and I think at the top it's stronger than the West, which is not something we've been able to say for a very long time.
George, I'm with Timmy B here completely, because it has been about 15, 20 years at least where you thought the East is legitimately pretty good, but the key word to me is the depth, because top to bottom, you're looking at these teams, and most of these teams think they have a legitimate chance not only to get into the postseason, but make noise once they get in and start rolling. So I love the Nets and the Bucks. I think the Heat are going to be really, really solid. And when you compare that to what's in the West right now, yes, you have some teams that have a chance to get into the finals and get rolling, but you don't feel the same way about the top of the West, at least I don't, that you do the top of the East and once you start getting in the 5, 6, 7, 8 range.
Well, I'm here in Vegas, and I've seen some boards, prediction boards, and you can bet on these what's potentially going to happen next season. There's a lot of Western teams near the top of those boards that I've seen here in Vegas, so I'm going to disagree. While I do agree that the East is way better than it's been in a long, long time, this is probably as strong an East as we've seen in easily 10 years, maybe longer than that. And look, Brooklyn is the team to beat for most people. I think the Lakers are the next betting favorite. But let's look at the West. I think Denver, when they're healthy, is a team that is as good as almost any team in the East outside of Brooklyn. Okay, I look at Utah. I think what they did last year, I think they can still build off being the number 1 seed. We saw the Phoenix Suns get to the NBA Finals. I'm curious to see if Luka and Porzingis can make something work. I still feel like the West not only has better teams at the top or teams that are more championship caliber, but I still feel like there's more depth there. Even teams like Minnesota, if they make one move, I still feel like they're better than the Orlandos of the world in the Eastern Conference or the Torontos of the world. Yeah, I couldn't disagree.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota would be better than Orlando, who might be the worst team in the league. I mean, they would not be they would not make the playoffs in the East. They'll have it. The Minnesota Timberwolves will have an easier time making the playoffs in the Western Conference. They would not make the playoffs in the East, full stop. So.
Okay, but what I'm saying is that if we're going to separate it into a couple of tiers, like championship level, then playoff level, and then the rest,
yep.
I feel like the West is stronger in each of those particular categories.